Good day everyone, Dr. Blob here. Another English batch, another video of me pretending to know what I'm talking about. Quick recap, we will be going through the English voices I believe are the most mistuned and best regarding how they represent the respective characters. How similar they sound will not count, as that tells me nothing of who they are. Also, after some thought, I decided not to factor accents into future analysis. While a welcome addition, they don't give me more information regarding who is talking beyond representing the respective nationality. So while I do love me some accents, they will no longer be taken into account. As a side note, both Cerny and Istina keep their respective places, since the first still delivered a stellar performance, while the second only focused on the accent, thus keeping the ranking as it is. That's not the only modification, by the way. Because of the introduction of nation-exclusive languages, we have the first batch of characters with Italian as a new option. While I would like to make another list for them, but since they are so few, I decided to fuse them with the respective character. So if one voice work is meh, but the other is more remarkable, that one will be taken into account. With that out of the way, let us begin. These are the top 5 best and mistuned EN plus voices in Arknights. 5th batch.
Is there anything I can help with? Just say the word and I can do it. Franca and Lisgarm are so incredible. I really admire them. I want to become as great as they are someday. I will work harder. Will you help me, Doctor? I heard word that Vanilla's here too. She was in my squad when she first joined Blacksteel. We went on missions together. She's become such a reliable operator now, but I'm still just me. I can do a little cooking. Just every once in a while, I feel really happy when I get compliments from you.
As always, someone has to start this list, and I am sad to inform you that our beloved Jessica comes short in her voice. We know she has some serious issues which makes her look as weak-willed and, well, a scaredy cat. But what Jessica has is self-confidence issues. It is not that she's afraid of what could happen. She's afraid of what could happen because of her. Yet the voice work of Rebecca Lachance comes more like a wallflower instead of having doubts in herself, which causes a bit of a dissonance. I mean, they may seem similar, but the source of their problem is completely different. In the end, it makes Jessica sound scared of everything instead of being afraid of letting people down. This can be heard more clearly whenever she talks about a topic she shouldn't be afraid of, and yet she still sounds in fear. While not inaccurate for our rich cat, this, I'm afraid, was not the right choice. Though I do hope the voice actress does improve once Jessie Calder rolls out.
These documents won't take me long to take care of. Why don't you show me Rhodes Island's old business contracts? You never know what kind of restitutions there might be hidden in a contract's terms. Doctor, I think there are a lot of problems with the medical malpractice liability clauses in Rhodes Island's contracts. In most countries, we as a medical company wouldn't be liable for a lot of the scenarios listed in there. You don't want to fix it? All right. I'll give it some more thought. I'm slowly starting to understand that expecting the law to be able to judge all disputes fairly isn't just naive, it's intellectually lazy. The law is not perfect, and it will always be riddled with holes that we need to fill with humanity. Doctor, I took a photo of what you just did as evidence.
Cheeky and arrogant, but once you get to know her better, you can tell how she once tried to hold justice in high regard, before being crushed by the capitalistic reality of Casimirs, while complaining about how little money she makes now, yet determined to protect Rhodes with her knowledge of the judicial system. The work provided by Allegra Clark keeps Proviso professional, while also giving her a spark her JP counterpart barely shows, which is surprising since it's often the other way around, making her one of the best voices from this batch, and the opening number for this side of the video. Also, she has the best tap quote in the game.
What?
Bruh.
We got a lot to do today, Doctor. So, how about we play some games first? Isn't getting nice and relaxed the best way to prepare for a hot day of work? I feel so lazy today for some reason. Maybe because Midnight isn't around. I love watching him chat up girls with that flashy smile of his. It's especially fun when the girls turn him down. Totally makes my day. I don't care what anybody thinks of me. It's more important that I just enjoy every day doing what I like. My life belongs to me, so I alone decide what I do. Isn't that right? Reserve Op Team A6 Catapult report.
Nope.
I can still feel the prankster energy, but not as much as before. It is almost as if Claire Louise Connolly was told this was a background character, and thus she didn't give her full effort, as we have seen her do with Rock. I understand she's not among the most beloved operators in the roster, but even so, I think proper care is needed for everyone to shine, so I hope this kind of event doesn't repeat itself. Now if only we could skip her recruit speech.
Doctor, do you mind me tinkering with a few things here? Or would that be too much noise? Just give me a tap on the back when you want to chat, of course. The Sarkaz deserve sympathy for what they've been through. But one man can't steal another's home for the sake of his own. Peace will come to Londinium. And I hope, one day, every wanderer gets to build a homeland. It's what Rhodes Island wants too, isn't it? When we were on break, me and my work pals liked climbing up to the workshop ceiling. 30, 40 odd metres. We'd step out of the window and go jumping between buildings. Wind'd blow by with the smell of the factory heat and rust. Stars would squeeze down past the buildings and smile on me. I could feel my city in its warm embrace.
And now I'm very sure, very pleasant to hear too. I can feel his old regrets, but also his eagerness to improve and tinker with whatever little thing he can get his hands on, but especially how much he loves his land. So I would say this voice is very one-to-one with the original. However, I can also feel some vitality from his words. How he's just so happy to talk to someone else, which is very in character. Clearly, Jack Ayres managed to bring forth Stainless in all of his Victorian glory, landing him the 4th spot in this list.
Crikey.
Assistant? File work? Not sure I followed. Anyway, I found a nice-looking mountain with a great view the other day. Want to see it? You call the outside the wilds, but you can find everything out there. Put in a little effort, and you'll find food and water just fine. But in the city, there are no places to hunt. How do you even survive? Agnese told about a dangerous scent on Rhodes Island, but she and the pack would stay with me. You can't see her? But she was just here a moment ago. Huh, maybe she went to go get food. I don't like roofs. Hey, Doctor, don't you get tired of staying in these little cubes every day?
Energy-wise, I think it is very similar to JP's. However, the pronunciation was too clean. You see, Luna's thing is that she was educated by wolves in the wild. Thus her speech should be a bit broken, as shown in Japanese, where she sounds like a wild child who barely understands how to talk. English Luna, on the other hand, sounds a bit posh, and even elegant. That's the last thing you want your wild kid to sound like. So while the energy is similar, the delivery is what makes me place her as 3rd in the Mistuned list.
Hey, Doctor! Hope you don't mind if I bring my weapons inside. I'd plop myself right over here. Somebody out to get you, huh? Then have a long, hard think about who you might have wronged in the past.
You think I'm an assassin, huh? Yeah,
All right. Call me whatever you want. I can be anyone, do anything, kill anyone anytime. Just so long as I want to. I love power, Doctor. And you offered me a job where I can use my power to my heart's content. Love it! Honestly, the only joy I get out of this insane world is using my power to conquer it. You want to know what happened between me and Texas? You don't have a single idea of what you're sticking your nose into. You'll find out the truth someday, but not from me. Ciao, Doctor.
She sounds way too unhinged, which of course fits Lappy to a T. However, there is no melancholy from her part, only madness, as if Christina Kowalczuk tried to make a female version of the Joker. Which, let's be honest, it's not that far from what we have seen her do. Yet it leaves aside her pain, her sadness, her more human side. But wait, isn't this the best part of the video? Why so much criticism? Because I want to make clear how much of an improvement Elisa Contestabile did for our dear Lappy.
Ehi, Doc! Non ti dispiace se porto dentro le mie armi, vero? Mi metto comoda qui. Hai qualcuno alle costole, eh? Rifletti su chi potresti aver infastidito in passato. Credi che sia un'assassina, eh? Già. Chiamami come vuoi. Posso essere chiunque, fare qualsiasi cosa, uccidere quando voglio, finché voglio. Adoro il potere, Doc, e tu mi hai offerto un lavoro dove posso usarlo a mio piacimento. Fantastico! L'unica cosa bella di questo mondo è usare il mio potere per conquistarlo! Vuoi sapere cos'è successo tra me e Texas? Non hai proprio idea dei guai in cui ti stai cacciando, vero? Un giorno scoprirai la verità, ma non da me. Ciao, Doc.
She also sounds unhinged, but is not as dramatic. She has a better balance between her madness and her more calculating side. You can tell she's always having a second meaning behind her words, while also managing to keep her brutal honesty. Somehow, this is Lappy's best voice in my opinion, as not only she shows her wild side, but also her more calm self, and even her more vulnerable side from time to time, as rare as it is. The mere fact it acknowledges it is remarkable on itself, and thus earning Lappy the third place in the best voice side of this video.
I was an assistant for other researchers before I got my own lab. That being said, shall I begin your day with a cup of coffee? The rumbling grapevine says Saria is at odds with control. But I get the feeling they're both idealists, and those with a strong will tend to have an edge to them. Am I any different? I hope you'll never see my edge. I made lots of friends in the world of science. They often discuss their dreams with me. Some are not so good at expressing themselves, but I can guess. You say I've guessed wrong sometimes? Perhaps. Maybe I should reflect. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night in the labs and feel scared. Scared that people will end up abandoning me, even after all I've done, and even with hatred in their hearts. What should I do? All I want is to bring them happiness. Can you help me, Doctor?
Pronunciation-wise, this voice couldn't be more different than her JP one, which is pretty and gentle, while Ian is direct and energetic, making this both a bit difficult to analyze. So I went exclusively with how much of the character I felt from the voices, and come to the next conclusion. The original voice feels more analytic, someone trying to understand all in front of her while gently believing to be in the right, and getting confusing when proven wrong. Ian, on the other hand, sounds knowledgeable and curious when something new comes her way, and terrified about being wrong. Apparently, Allegra Clark tried to repeat the same process as with Proviso, focusing on the more technical aspect of the character. While it is a good interpretation of a scientist, I'm afraid it is a bit off from what Dorothy is supposed to be. A scientist constantly trying to make the best for everyone while stubbornly working towards what she believes to be the best. If anything, this comes to show how the same interpretation doesn't work on every character, making Miss Clark the very first voice actor to be present on both sides of the list at the same time. Congratulations!
Siege has ordered me to serve as your assistant. I'll be a harsh supervisor for you, if it's called for.
Huh? Do you have a problem with my metal claws? They're totally brill!
I mean, they're very wieldy. Please don't get the wrong idea about my taste. Morgan picked this outfit. Obviously, something with a knightly air would definitely suit me more. Although this street style is just a little bit wicked. Indra's a mess, both the way she lives and fights. That said, she'll go through hell and high water for her mates, and she'll fight to her last breath for Siege. Maybe she's more knight than some knights out there, and she's never even had to try. The knights of the tower never once shrank back in the face of the Sarkaz's blades. I was the only one who escaped, protected by my brothers and sisters in arms. I often think to myself, just if, I could have fought to the end with them.
Another case where pronunciations is quite different in both versions. And yet, unlike Dorothy, I can totally see Isabel in both of them. While JP is more knightly when talking, you get hints of her more wild side. Ian does keep something similar in the kind of words used by Dacta. Eloquent and elegant wording for more formal dialogues, and brash sentences when getting excited, which perfectly fit the young knight in my opinion. Not only that, but we can also feel the regret she carries regarding her fellow knights of the tower, and the pride she holds on being the last of said order, while also adding some street wisdom to her, all thanks to Eleanor Bennett's performance. If she manages to beat Lappy, was merely because of how subtle the changes can be. But then again, Lappy's performance is quite something, so I'll tell you what, they can both hold the second spot. If you like one more than the other, then she's the one to earn silver. However, there can only be one gold. And now it's time to introduce our winners. Beginning with...
Truthfully, I've thought up countless possibilities about coming back here, looking out at the same scenery that she saw that day. But I never could have imagined that I'd actually be standing here with you. It's just too outrageous. Doctor. Some of your little cuties are always glaring at me through gritted teeth. But when are they actually going to find the balls to pick a fight? Calcit already explained the situation. They're dealing with it. Come on. Show some respect for the needs of your staff. Just let them come at me. I'm bored out of my skull here anyway. You used to like working with us mercs a whole bunch. Mercenaries are efficient instruments of war, just like fast food, ready to eat and easily disposable. You want to know what happened in the past? Some people would prefer I keep my mouth shut about that topic. Say, it must be such a blessing to not remember anything, right? This place sure does get all kinds, huh? A lot more weirdos here than before. Oh, don't get me wrong. I don't give a shit what they're thinking. But I gotta say, Amiya's doing a pretty good job. At least she's working hard to become more like a certain someone. And I can't say I hate that.
Her hatred and resentment is there, but her attitude feels less like a crazy act, and more like a spoiled brat. I understand what Caitlin Bairstow's goal was, since most of W's lines are of her complaining about something, but she comes less sinister and more annoying, which makes me believe less that this girl used to be a mercenary, let alone that she can plan a Machiavellian revenge. Her younger self, it's pretty much more of the same.
Check this potato. Enos got a head like so. Now that I think of it, you could probably squeeze a bomb into a potato. Maybe a good trick to play on some miserable dumbass. Hey, Hoderer! You want a potato? My name. Hey, Hoderer, you're always reading books, so why don't you come up with a name for me? Teresa said I should come up with a new one. Wait a second. What's with all those books? Pick a name myself? Go to hell.
Don't take me wrong, I could see W with that voice, but the dissonance between her words and her lore were a bit jarring, especially on those few instances where her more serious side comes through. Though I gotta admit, her mannerisms and the way she mocks people do sound like our beloved cockroach, which makes me believe that this performance could be improved. Will the voice actress know more about W? As it is though, I'm afraid I can't place her any higher than this, crowning W's EN voice as the winner on the Mistuned part of the list.
If you thought it through, I have no qualms with it. Please let me know when the documents are due. I'm afraid I can't advise Rhodes Island on its affairs in Kazimierz. I may have spent a decade in that tower, but only as an unambitious nobody. I'm in no position to express my views on the General Chamber of Commerce. The sword. Yes, I know how to use one. And I've always used the same one. Seems Margaret kept the title she earned from that charade. So she still sees her actions as a victory, after squandering the Knurl's glory in those cheap commercial performances. My Originium arts? Nestata. I can nary illuminate a thing. No need to teach me how to get along with the infected. You should be aware of my time spent living among the refugees. The infected, the disabled, the bankrupt, the famished, and the poor. They're all the same in the ways that matter. The most honorable thing they can hope to achieve is climbing out of their tent in the settlement before their final moments arrive. In the first 2 years after they left the Grand Knight territory, the campaign knights would often bring me their letters. By the time the last one arrived, Maria was already old enough to understand its gist. Whether the letters were written beforehand makes no difference to me. But given the weight of their lives and deaths, they wouldn't have disappeared without so much as a peep. Good day, Doctor.
This is the voice of someone who had gone to hell, come back, took a look at his homeland, and started to miss hell. Anthony Howell made that supreme performance, managing to portray Milner's broken and tired soul to absolute perfection. You can feel how much disdain he holds for knighthood and honor.
Kazimierz's knight novels. The Grand Knight territory no longer has room for such fantasies.
Yet at the same time, it doesn't seem to be totally broken, as if there were some embers still burning deep inside him, refusing to let him renounce entirely. He might find knighthood as a thing of the past, yet he still finds it in himself to scold his nieces on their mishaps, while covertly giving them words of encouragement and guidance.
No need to have Maria come see me. She's not a child anymore and ought to make her own decisions, lest she embarrass her parents. A knight should temper themselves through travel, and no matter what she does under Rhodes Island's wing, she must always be responsible for her own actions.
Very, very covertly, making this one of the most complex voices I have heard so far, and without a doubt, the best voice of this video. But what do you think? Do you think some voice was better than other? Or do you think some of the performance could use some work? Be sure to share your commentaries down below. As always, I would love to see what you have to say. And please, do not forget to like, share and subscribe. We are getting closer there, everyone. But for now, this has been Dr. Blob, wishing you all to have a great day. And as always, stay healthy, everyone.